Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Redstone for Beginners. I'm XTC, and as I'm pretty sure you saw in the title of this video, it will be about bud switches. Now, if you didn't know what a bud switch was, it stands for block update detector. And oh, my mouse just went weird there. And what this does is it detects updates in blocks. How this works is you need a piston and a block diagonally opposite to it that is powered, like that. Now, when this block here is powered, any updates around the piston will cause it to update. If that made sense. If I place a block here, it'll update all the blocks around it, and one of them being the piston, which will extend. How that worked is, let me reset it. Hold on. Okay, so this block is powered, and technically, so technically the piston is now powered, but it doesn't realize that. To make it realize it, we need to update the piston, and to do that, we update one of the blocks next to it, updating the piston, and it will realize that it's powered, and it will push it out. Now, if I destroy this block again, it won't do anything. But if I remove the power, the piston is now technically unpowered, but it doesn't realize it until I update the piston. So that's how that works. Got another setup here, where if you notice, the piston head, when extended, will go below the block that is powered. This can be useful because it is resettable. Well, that one is too, but works a little differently to this. So as usual, I update it. Doesn't do anything when I remove the block, but when I remove the power from the block up here, it will update the piston head that's below it, retracting the piston. So these two setups have their own uses, obviously, and advantages, disadvantages. So yeah, we'll get to those in a moment. Now, one of my viewers said that I didn't really cover how Redstone can update water. So as you know, as I'm sure many of you have seen, that sometimes water glitches and does this. Now that's because it's realized that it has a better way to okay. Let me explain this a bit more clearly. Now, water will always take the shortest path downward. So if I place a source block here, it will choose to flow this side because it's the quickest way to go downwards, as you'll see. But when I cover up this block, it hasn't realized that it's got a new path which is equal to this one, forming this weird glitch. I don't know if it's a glitch. And in order to make it realize that it's got another path to flow out, you can update it by using Redstone. If I update it, water will flow out like so. And to reset it, you just need to block this off, dig that hole, making the water want to go downhill, removing that, then removing that, and you're set to go again. That's what people used to use for the automatic wheat farms and stuff before pistons came out. But now this is rarely used because, you know, pistons are just easier. So yeah, any block update will cause the water to realize it has a better path to flow. That can be useful. Over here I've got a few setups demonstrating a few things that will cause block updates. The first is obviously the furnace. When it switches on, it will update. And if I reset the bud switch quickly, when the furnace finishes smelting, that is when it switches off, so not when an item's finished, when the flame switches off, it will also cause another update, as you saw. Obviously, any blocks being placed or broken next to it will cause an update. Now, when you place redstone on the block, it will actually update the block under it as well. So as you see, if I place a block here, it doesn't affect the piston, which doesn't cause it to update. But if I put a piece of redstone there, it will update the block below it as well, causing it to update the piston as well, and extending the head. Water flowing past the piston will also update it. And okay, this one's already shown, but okay. There we go. When grass grows onto a dirt block, it will also cause an update. see if I can capture it. It's gonna take a while, but take my word for it, it will. Now, what do I have here? Okay, I don't know what that is. But here is a simple resettable bud switch that is pretty much automatic. As you saw, when I placed the block there, it updated, it moved this over, and it reset itself. So when I break this block, it will trigger again. Now, how this works is pretty basic. If you watched my previous videos, you'll know that. Did I explain this? I don't know. But redstone power will power this block, and this repeater will pull the power from the block and send it to this block, which switches the torch off. This torch powers this block when it's on, but now it's not on, so this torch is on and powers this block, which is, as you can see, diagonally opposite to the piston. So when I update the block, this is what happens. It pushes the block out and unpowering. So the block will now be here, right? And the redstone torch's power is going nowhere, so this switches off, allowing this to switch on, that switches off, and switches off that, which will cause the piston to retract again. And when it does, it resets the whole thing. So I hope you understand that. Okay, so that's how it works. Hopefully you understand. And basically, to build some cool things with it, we'll be using this prototype here. Now, I'm just going to quickly show how you can fix up a T flip-flop to this design. So this is exactly the same as that. And if you've seen my last tutorial, showing how you could use this piston here to create a T flip-flop. I've managed to make it a bit smaller like this. So here's the redstone pulsar, that's right, redstone pulsar, which will send a quick pulse through this torch to the piston. And there's a torch underneath which will power this block and power this wire. So this is what happens when you press it. And as you'll notice, this line, ignore this, this line here became unpowered. When I press it again, it stays on after I press it. Now ignore the fact that this button's powering this line, it doesn't really do anything to it. And yeah, so I can easily fit one of those T flip-flops into a nice area down here. So this is pretty much the space you need to create a T flip-flop coming off one of these. So what you want is basically, if I'm doing this right, okay, so the repeater here is sending power into this block, which will be received by this piece of redstone. And all we have to do is place a repeater, set it to a delay of 3, add another block there. This block is where redstone torch will go on, not there, but over here, and a piece of redstone there as well. Wait, is that going to work? Yeah, it should. And down here is where we have our piston, I think. Yep. So that will power our piston. So we need a sticky piston for this, obviously. And a torch in that hole. And when there's a block on top, it will transmit power next to it. Oh. So that's pretty much all you need. So if I quickly update this, you know that that's on. Now it's off. And I break this, and it's back on again. So this is how we can create pretty much T flip-flops using a bud switch. So that's really handy for a lot of the cool things we can do with it. Okay, so this is basically the same as that, but hidden nicely behind a wall. Wait, no, this doesn't have the T flip-flop, does it? No, it does, okay. So you'll notice that this is where the block update will happen if I place a piece of redstone. Oh, and break it, yep. It switches on, and it switches off. So once again, it's really handy for making some nice hidden switches and stuff. And don't worry, I'll be teaching you how to make this. But if you haven't noticed, this video is getting quite long and reaching the 15-minute mark, so there will be a part 2 to this where I will show you some cool applications for this little design here and how to build it. So as always guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and understood this tutorial. If you guys did, please leave a like and comment with any suggestions, or if you notice that I missed anything or did something wrong, your feedback is greatly appreciated. So yeah, thanks for watching. Now when this block here is powered, any updates around the piston will cause it to update, if that made sense. If I place a block here, it'll update all the blocks around it, and one of them being the piston, which will extend. Detector, and oh, my mouse just went weird there. And what this does is it detects updates in blocks. How this works is you need a piston and a block diagonally opposite to it that is powered, like that. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Redstone for Beginners. I'm XTC, and as I'm pretty sure you saw in the title of this video, it will be about bud switches. Now, if you didn't know what a bud switch was, it stands for block update. How that worked is, let me reset it. Okay, so this block is powered, and technically, so technically the piston is now powered, but it doesn't realize that. To make it realize it, we need to update